Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Justin Case. We begin tonight with a missing persons case out of Knox County. Take a look at your screen. Deputies say this woman, Tammy Ortenzi Smith, has not been seen since last Tuesday. She was last seen in Flat Lick. She is described as 45 years old, 5 feet 2 inches tall with hazel eyes. She has tattoos on both of her arms. If you have any idea where she may be, please call 606-546-3181. A family of 8 has next to nothing after a fire tore through their home this evening. Fire officials are still not sure what caused the fire, but the family says they know everything it took. Thankfully, no one was injured in the fire. WYMT's Connor James talked with the family about the loss.
Family driving by saw smoke coming from the empty house.
They seen smoke coming out the back of the house, so they called 911.
They tried to get in to stop it, but with no luck.
Before you even get in there, it was too much smoke.
Firefighters would work to put out the flames as they got to the scene, also with no luck.
All my kids' stuff, all the stuff we worked for, everything lost in just one day.
Joey Nix had to watch as the fire consumed his home. He was one of 8 living there.
Yeah, we all live here. Me, my wife, my mother and father, and my kids.
He's incredibly thankful no one in his family was hurt or even home when the fire started, but they've lost almost everything they own.
Stuff they can't get back, replaced, pictures, memories, everything's gone. Stuff we worked hard for.
He says now he and his family just have to focus on what's next. While being thankful, they're all still together. In Perry County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, we recently received word that the Red Cross has been briefed on the family situation. That road is also now back open.
Well, clearing skies and colder temperatures have been the main story for today. And as we take a look at some of the cameras, you'll notice a calmer pattern shaping up, at least in Whitesburg. Calm and cool. The same story at the University of Virginia. A beautiful sunset tonight, and hopefully you were able to get out and enjoy it. And now the temperatures drop. The good news is a few high-level clouds working in, but shouldn't be any problems, at least for tonight or for most of your Thursday. Now, temperatures right now in the lower 30s, 31 in Hazard, 35 in Jackson, and 37 in Richmond. And you can, of course, track the latest details on the WYMT weather app. We'll drop down to the lower 30s tonight and eventually increase temperatures with this southerly wind. And notice by tomorrow as we head to noon, we'll be in the 50s. Justin, we'll get close to 60 degrees tomorrow. Some locations will surpass that. We'll break down your forecast coming up in a few short minutes.
Andrew, thank you. 3 students had to be taken to the hospital. One of them was flown out this morning after a crash in Magoffin County. Deputies say one of the cars hit an icy patch along Route 7 about 5 miles away from the high school. Officials at the high school where the students attend spent the day talking with students who knew the 3 people and made get well cards for the students in the hospital.
It was bad, obviously, but it could have been worse. And so as a school family, we're thankful that it wasn't worse, but we're also pulling together to offer those students support and show their families that we're thinking of them.
As for the status of the 3 students, we are told all 3 were awake and responsive. Their names have not been released. The school resource officer says they will be talking about driving safety with all student drivers in the coming week. A rock slide in Hazard had North Main Street shut down for almost 24 hours. It started yesterday afternoon at 4, and by 11 it had swallowed up the northbound lanes. Early today, city and county officials had it shut down. However, crews were working elsewhere in the county to remove a slide and could not get to this one for hours. People who work downtown say it could not have come at a worse time.
Of course, because I mean, it definitely, we're trying to promote small businesses here and stuff like that. So, it definitely hurts our business.
We called over to the Hazard Police Department about an hour and a half ago. About a half hour ago. They say the road is back open, but there is a lot of water across the roadway, so please use caution if you drive down there. It will close again tomorrow at 9 a.m. to finish cleanup. In Pulaski County, recent heavy rainfall has Lake Cumberland at levels some say they have not seen in years. You can't even see the boat ramp at Burnside Island State Park, and the walkway is being held in place by a chain tied to a pickup truck. Some people we talked with today say the lake is the highest they have ever seen it during the winter months. And check out the Ohio River in Louisville. The river took over many low-lying areas across the city. Road barriers are up in those areas, trying to keep drivers out of danger. While the river is still well above flood stage, it's now expected to crest slightly lower than first thought. U.S. Senator Rand Paul wants to loosen federal restrictions on some land in rural southern Kentucky. The proposal was considered as an amendment to a natural resources bill that was voted on in the nation's capital yesterday, but Paul's amendment was taken out. It would allow for the sale of certain lands in the Daniel Boone National Forest along U.S. 27 from Burnside to the Tennessee state line for the purpose of developing that land.
As far as opening up a little bit of land that might possibly be that someone wanted to develop for McCory County to help, and it could even be tied into the tourism.
But not everyone agrees. Some fear that Senator Paul's proposal could take away too much of the natural beauty and its wildlife this area is known for. It's a difficult subject to talk about: youth suicide. In an anonymous survey across Kentucky, 17.4% of middle school students say they seriously considered attempting suicide. That's nearly 1 out of every 5. That's not nearly 1 out of every 5. And for high schools, state educators found the number is 14.8%, or 1 out of every 7. Miranda Combs investigates this alarming trend.
We've seen your emails and messages and talked to some of you about a topic so personal we don't report it. But there's been a change, one that's terrifying to parents and one we need to talk about.
We know the rates are going up, especially among younger kids.
Cole Owsley died by suicide on October 10th, 2017 in Pikeville. His mother started an initiative advocating suicide prevention after his passing. She believes a brief bout with depression caused his death.
I think parents who have lost a child to suicide are desperate to figure out how to help a family never have to be in that horrible situation that they're in.
Dr. Julie Sorrell is a suicidologist at UK.
We know that kids as young as 5 can end their lives.
From 2013 to 2015, a child under the age of 13 was dying from suicide once every 3.4 days. That's because of a spike in suicides of 11 to 12-year-olds in the past few years. So it begs the question, why?
All the time people ask me about warning signs, and if we knew, oh, this is what would predict if your child is going to die by suicide, of course everyone would know about it. But the issue with warning signs is the only thing that really reliably predicts whether someone's going to die by suicide is if they've made a suicide attempt.
So it makes sense that the rates of attempted suicides have doubled in a decade for ages 12 to 14.
What we're seeing is these increases in kids having mental health difficulties younger and younger, kids having trouble dealing with stressors younger and younger.
Sorrell says, surprisingly, there's not a strong link to bullying.
So unfortunately, there's lots and lots of kids who are bullied, and fortunately, very few of those kids that are bullied end their lives.
Her advice, talk to your kids and ask them directly about suicide. She says there's no evidence that broaching the topic will somehow give them the idea to take their lives. The good news, if any is to be had, is that we, as a society, are talking about it more. It's not kept as a family secret, maybe because these are kids that haven't even lived yet. Sorrell and others are on a mission to find out why. In Lexington, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
The numbers by the CDC show suicide as the second leading cause of death among Kentucky's youth. The report goes on to detail the number of middle and high school students that have considered, planned, or attempted suicide. If you or someone you know is considering suicide, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at the number you see on your screen. Restoration Ministries in Laurel County is opening their doors to anyone who is hungry. Whether you are rich or poor, everyone is welcome to come in and eat a hot meal at New Day Cafe. This church was given the opportunity to serve these meals through the Child and Adult Care Food Program through Corbin Public Schools. And despite only being open for about a week, they are already making a huge impact on the community.
The Bible says it's more blessed to give than to receive. And we've all been in that situation where we needed help. And just to be able to help people is our heart.
The cafe is open Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 7 in the evenings, and on the weekends they will be serving a hot breakfast from 8:30 to 9:30 in the mornings. Earlier today, miners showed the Harlan County Chamber of Commerce why they believe the future is bright for coal in eastern Kentucky, despite the industry's steady decline in recent years. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch talked with members who say the country's biggest assets, hard-working miners, will keep the need alive.
Not born or raised in Appalachia, JRL Coal's general manager John Quintrell says Harlan County coal is different.
This is some of the cleanest coal that there is.
Quintrell tells Chamber of Commerce members the outlook for Harlan County coal looks promising. His company alone hired more than 250 employees, some working for other companies partnered with JRL for distribution.
That's payroll, that's taxes. It's just great for Harlan County to see this little boom of JRL coal.
Both men say while mining towns are struggling, there is hope.
We would be not telling the truth if we said that there's going to be some struggles.
They say eastern Kentucky's biggest assets will keep coal production alive.
I'm talking about hard-working people.
And John said it best, the number one asset that eastern Kentucky has are the hardest working people in the country, the grippers.
We feel like there's a lot of opportunity. We've got some contracts that go out 3 and possibly 5 years here pretty soon.
With 2 locations for miners to actively mine on and several shops, JRL Coal hopes to create a future for families in the mountains.
I don't get into politics. I don't even watch the news. But we're here to take care of these people and try and produce and take care of the people in our company as well as the people that work for us.
Open to ideas benefiting eastern Kentucky. In Harlan County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
Though coal is mostly produced for power generation, Quintrell says industrial and specialty market needs will help companies like JRL survive in eastern Kentucky. The ESPN College Game Day crew is set to roll back into Lexington, with UK fans eager to upset top-ranked Tennessee in front of a sold-out crowd. Saturday's matchup is Kentucky's second home sellout of the season, and UK athletic officials are warning people to watch out for counterfeit tickets.
Such as wiring money, that's a no-no. Using some kind of preloaded gift card to pay for it, that's also a big red flag. These are ways that you will lose your money and you can't recover them if it turns out the tickets are bad.
UK Athletics encourages you to download your mobile tickets to your Apple Wallet or Google Pay account before you get to Rupp to avoid any connectivity issues. And one of the players on the women's basketball team fans at UK cheer loudest for is Macy Morris. The Hazard native who played at Bell County High School is back in eastern Kentucky connecting with fans and signing autographs. Morris is up for 2 awards this season, including Player of the Year. Hear from Morris and fans at the event in downtown Pineville later on in sports. Coming up at 11, find out why military families and Congress are fed up with their housing.
And the rain chances return later this week. Those details are coming up next.